Attention! This makes absolutely no sense. Ladies and gentlemen, this is Zander's Facts.
Zander's Facts, what is going on, y'all? Welcome into the latest edition of the one and only Zander's Facts podcast. I am, of course, the aforementioned Zander, kicking it here on the first day of December, Wednesday, December 1st, 2021. We are on episode 43 of the podcast, and thank you all for listening. And remember, if you've liked Zander's Facts podcast so far, or you think you're going to like this podcast, if you never listened before, then welcome. And remember, click that follow button, download button, rate button, review button. Click all those buttons, and then go on all the social medias for Zander's Facts, Twitter, Facebook, Instagram. That's Zander's Facts, Zander with a Z. And most importantly, you gotta tell all your friends about the podcast. Like, tell everyone you know. I don't care who it is, a random person on the street, your neighbor, your best friend, whoever. Tell them Zander's Facts podcast, because we got a bunch of stuff to talk about that you're gonna want to know about this week. College football. Conference championship week is this week, and that's where we're going to start the podcast off with. And we've also got emergency facts returning to the podcast. The whole gang is back.
Deal with it.
That is coming up, but let's start with college football, because it is conference championship week, which means we got some big games. The season is winding down, and now we are less than a week away from finding out who's going to be in the college football playoff. Probably the craziest college football playoff we're going to have so far, because we're going to have a bunch of teams who have never been in the playoff before, or a couple, probably. But before we get into conference championship week, the playoff, and all that, let's talk about the games that happened last week, because there were a ton of good games last week, including a huge upset that we'll talk about. But it was rivalry weekend, the last weekend of the regular season in college football, and that included games like Alabama taking on Auburn. Alabama was number 3 in the country. Auburn had 6 wins. They were barely bowl eligible. It was in Auburn, but it was the first game between the two schools, the Iron Bowl, first game ever between these two to go to overtime.
Fact!
And it went to 4 overtimes. Auburn led 10-0 in the fourth quarter, but Alabama stormed back. They got a field goal, they got a touchdown, and they won it in 4 overtimes, 24-22. So Alabama is still in the college football playoff hunt, and that is going to be decided this weekend in their conference championship game, which we're going to get to. But the other games that happened, including Oklahoma State and Oklahoma Bedlam, that rivalry game happened this weekend as well. Those two teams were going back and forth that whole game before Oklahoma State scored 13 points in the fourth quarter to come back and beat Oklahoma 37-13. And it turns out that wasn't the worst that Oklahoma fans were going to be feeling that weekend.
Uh-oh.
We're going to get to that in a second too. Plus, Oklahoma State at 5 in the polls still has a chance at the playoff, and we'll talk about their game this weekend in a little bit. But there were some other close games this past weekend as well, like Michigan State playing Penn State in the snow. They won 30-27. BYU survived USC. We're going to talk about USC 35-31. LSU upset Texas A&M 27-24 in Coach O's final game. Tigers! Minnesota upset Wisconsin 23-13. Baylor survived Texas Tech 27-24. Iowa scored 19 points in the fourth quarter to beat Nebraska 28-21. And NC State came back to beat North Carolina 34-30. And that Nebraska game, I told you, Iowa beat them by 7 points. Nebraska has lost 9 games this season, and they have lost all 9 of those games by single digits. They became the first ever team to lose 9 games in a season by single digits.
That's a fact!
Which is pretty crazy. But the upset of the weekend, and possibly the upset of the season, happened in Ann Arbor, Michigan on Saturday. That's right, it was the game. Ohio State and Michigan. One of the biggest rivalries, not only in college football, but in all of sports. And coming into this game, Ohio State was number 2 in the country. They had just beaten up Michigan State a couple weeks ago, and they were a huge favorite over Michigan, who was ranked 5th. Plus, Michigan's head coach Jim Harbaugh was 0-5 against the Buckeyes coming into this game. So,
Yikes!
Michigan, history was not on their side, and the stats weren't either. And no one was literally on their side, but Michigan was at home. So, let's see what happens. Well, they actually struck first in the first quarter. They got the first touchdown of the game, but in the second quarter, Ohio State had a 10-7 lead. But by halftime, Michigan was up 14-13, and they did not trail at all in the second half. Their running back, Hassan Haskins, scored 5 of Michigan's 6 touchdowns and scored all of the Wolverines' 28 second half points. Ohio State just could not find an answer on defense. And when the clock hit all zeros, fans started storming the field. They were going crazy at the Big House. Michigan had beaten Ohio State for the first time since 2011.
Wow!
They won 42-27. So college football was fun and crazy on Saturday. And it didn't look like the weekend was going to get any crazier. Until the next day. Because on Sunday came Black Sunday. Ooh, Black Sunday. And this is what the Sunday after the college football regular season ends is usually known as. Because on the day after the final games are played for a lot of teams, a lot of head coaches learn their fates when their teams start to perform poorly. But this season, it kind of took on a little different meaning because a bunch of high-profile teams had already released their coaches or announced their intentions to before the end of the season, like USC, Florida, LSU, TCU, Virginia Tech, Washington State, Texas Tech, Washington, Duke, UConn. All those schools announced that they would be releasing their coaches from their contracts, firing them, basically.
So sad.
So that meant that all those schools would be looking for coaches much earlier than usual. So this year, Black Sunday actually ended up being more of a hiring spree rather than a firing spree. But for some schools, it meant that coaches were moving on to other schools. So the first big drop that we got on Sunday was Florida. They announced that Louisiana's head coach Billy Napier was heading to Gainesville to replace Dan Mullen as Florida's new head coach. And Napier was seen as a top candidate for a bunch of teams this offseason. He worked at Alabama under Nick Saban before he built up Louisiana as their head coach. But then things started to get a little wonky. So Sunday afternoon, football's on. It's the NFL, not college. But rumors began spreading about Oklahoma's head coach Lincoln Riley, who had actually been linked with LSU for the past several weeks. And Saturday night, he was asked about that. And he specifically stated that he would not be the next head coach at LSU. And then he asked for the next question. So, technically, this man did not lie because on Sunday, it was announced that Lincoln Riley was going to be the next head coach at USC, not LSU.
Seriously?
Which then made everything go crazy. People were like, what's going on? Because nobody expected for that to happen. People thought that if Lincoln Riley was actually going to leave Oklahoma, he probably would have gone to LSU. But no, he didn't, because Lincoln Riley, 5 years ago, was longtime Oklahoma head coach Bob Stoops' hand-picked replacement. Bob Stoops was the former head coach at Oklahoma. He had been there for a long time. He basically resigned in the middle of an offseason and handpicked Lincoln Riley as his successor. Lincoln Riley's only 38 years old, and during his 5 years as Oklahoma's head coach, he went 55-10 with 3 appearances in the college football playoff, the only Big 12 school to make it to the playoff.
Nice fact.
So that was incredibly shocking. And with that move made, it was looking more and more like this season's coaching carousel was about to go off the rockers. And because nobody expected Lincoln Riley to leave for USC, especially with Oklahoma being seen as one of the top jobs in college football. But also, he's 38 years old. And okay, Oklahoma, Southern California, they're USC is paying for a $6 million house for Lincoln Riley. You think he was going to say no to that?
Get that dough.
I don't think so. But that immediately makes USC a big contender out west, because if you take a look at Lincoln Riley's recruiting profile over the last few months, it's been a ton of guys from Southern California. So maybe we should have saw this coming, but no one knew. But that might not have actually been the most shocking thing to happen in the last few days, because pretty soon, Black Sunday bled over into Black Monday.
If you say so.
So on Monday, everyone was reeling from the USC news. Plus the fact that Oklahoma was going to need a new head coach. But then all that subsided on Monday afternoon when rumors came in that Notre Dame head coach Brian Kelly was heading to the SEC. And we were like, what? But those rumors quickly became news because it had become official by Monday night that Brian Kelly would be the next head coach of the LSU Tigers. And now everybody was like, whoa!
What do you say?
Nobody thought that was going to happen. I mean, LSU had been rumored for a bunch of top names, like Lincoln Riley and Texas A&M's Jimbo Fisher. Thought he might go there. But it turns out they were going after another huge name, to the surprise of everyone. No one thought Brian Kelly was leaving Notre Dame. Like, apparently he's having a house built in South Bend, Indiana right now. Nobody thought this was going to happen. Not even he probably thought this was going to happen until like a few days ago, probably. So when this whole thing started, 2 high-profile jobs in LSU and USC were searching for coaches. Now, those 2 schools have been filled. And now we've got 2 more high-profile schools looking for their coaches in Notre Dame and Oklahoma. So this news has basically been non-stop. But as of Tuesday evening, right now it's looking like the top candidates for Notre Dame for their head coaching job are Cincinnati's head coach Luke Fickell, Iowa State's head coach Matt Campbell, and Notre Dame's current defensive coordinator Marcus Freeman. For Oklahoma, it looks like the big name to be rumored for their head coaching job is Clemson's defensive coordinator, Brent Venables, who coached at Oklahoma from 1999 to 2011. So yeah, this year's college football coaching carousel has been absolutely bonkers. And it's not over yet. We still don't know who's going to be coaching Notre Dame in Oklahoma. And oh yeah, Tuesday morning, Virginia Tech, the Hokies, announced their new head coach. The Hokies hired Penn State's defensive coordinator, Brent Pry. And you're like, who's that? Well,
I don't know.
Pry was a graduate assistant at Virginia Tech under Frank Beamer and Bud Foster from 1995 to 1997, right about when Virginia Tech was starting to get rolling under Frank Beamer. And since then, he's had coaching stops at Western Carolina, Louisiana Lafayette, Memphis, and Georgia Southern before he united with current Penn State head coach James Franklin at Vanderbilt in 2011. And when Franklin went to Penn State in 2014, Pry became the co-defensive coordinator at Penn State before he became the sole defensive coordinator in 2016. And while he was at Penn State, he has been excellent at recruiting in the Mid-Atlantic. He recruited 2 5-stars to Penn State's defense, along with 17 players categorized as 4-stars. And he's also a solid coach. His defenses have ranked in the top 10 in scoring defense for 3 out of the last 5 seasons. And this season, the defense has carried the way for Penn State. They have ranked 11th in the country in yards per play allowed and 7th in points allowed. So it's not the splashy hire that some may have wanted, but it's a good hire. And you know you got a good one when fans of the team losing the coach are disappointed. And let's just say a bunch of Penn State fans did not want to see Pry leave. James Franklin probably did not want to see Pry leave. But his main goals earlier are probably going to be attracting top talent in Virginia and the Mid-Atlantic to Blacksburg, because under the previous head coach, Virginia Tech has struggled mightily at in-state recruiting. And for Virginia Tech to get back to where they were under Frank Beamer a decade ago, that's got to change. And the big con for him, for Brent Pry, is that he has no previous head coaching experience. But that might not be the worst thing in the world, because if you take a look at the top 10 teams in the current college football playoff rankings, 5 of them have head coaches who had 0 head coaching experience before they took their current job.
How about that?
Georgia's Kirby Smart, Cincinnati's Luke Fickell, Oklahoma State's Mike Gundy, Ohio State's Ryan Day, and Baylor's Dave Aranda all had no coaching experience as a head coach before taking their current jobs. So that's not a deal breaker. And if Pry can surround himself with some top offensive coaches, and apparently VT is committing a large increase in the support staff budget, then the Hokies may have found the one. Of course, that's what we all thought about Fuente back in the day too, but hopefully this coaching hire turns out much better than that one. But time will tell. It'll take some time for Virginia Tech to get back. But if they can, I mean, I don't know what Clemson's doing, but they might be losing their defensive coordinator. They might be struggling. North Carolina's coach is not going to stay there for much longer. Like, the ACC is all over the place. Who knows what's going to happen with Miami? Virginia Tech can literally take hold of the ACC if they nail this coaching hire and they get back to where they were a few years ago, because the ACC is wide open. So the coaching carousel has been absolutely nuts.
No one cares.
These last few days. And it's not over yet. So stay tuned, because Wednesday morning, Wednesday afternoon, whenever you're listening to this, it all may have changed. So, I mean, that's all going on in college football. But, of course, with all that out of the way, we've got conference championship games this weekend. We have 10 FBS conferences hosting their championship games this weekend, with some having some real playoff implications. And by the way, these picks are also going to be posted on Zander's social media channels Friday morning if you want to check them out there. Because last week, I put my picks on social media and I went 17-6, which is pretty good. And that's for the season. 194 wins, 69 losses. Nice. That's a 74% winning percentage. But let's get to this weekend's championship games, because on Friday, let's start with the Conference USA Championship. It's Western Kentucky and UTSA from San Antonio on Friday, 7 o'clock on CBS Sports Network. UTSA, the Roadrunners, they just lost their first game of the season, but I think they'll beat Western Kentucky in the Conference USA Championship game. The Pac-12 Championship game is Friday at 8 on ABC in Las Vegas. It's number 10 Oregon and number 17 Utah in a rematch from a game just 2 weeks ago that knocked the Pac-12 out of the playoff. Once again, the Ducks and the Utes in Las Vegas, but Utah beat up Oregon in that game. So I expect Oregon to be seeking some vengeance here. I'm going to go with the Ducks to win this game. And then let's go to Saturday's games, because we got a top 10 matchup to begin the day. At noon on ABC, it's the Big 12 Championship, number 9 Baylor, number 5 Oklahoma State from Arlington, Texas. It's the first game with playoff implications. Oklahoma State is on the cusp of their first college football playoff berth, because if they beat Baylor, they just need one of Alabama, Michigan, or Cincinnati to lose, and they're basically in it. And after they beat Oklahoma last week, I think I will take Oklahoma State to win a close one against Baylor. The MAC Championship is also at noon on ESPN. This one from Detroit. It's Northern Illinois and Kent State.
Nope.
Yeah, this doesn't mean much, but I will take Northern Illinois. The Mountain West Championship is from Carson, California at 3 o'clock on Fox. Utah State and number 19 San Diego State. I will take San Diego State to win. The Sun Belt Championship is 3:30 on ESPN Saturday. Appalachian State takes on number 24 Louisiana. Louisiana lost their coach to Florida, as we said, so I'll take Appalachian State. And the game of the weekend is at 4 o'clock on CBS. It's the SEC Championship, number 1 Georgia, number 3 Alabama from Atlanta. It's the matchup we've been waiting for all year. Georgia's defense has given up a grand total of 83 points this season, and it looks like one of the best defenses we have ever seen.
That's a big fact.
Meanwhile, Alabama has not exactly been Alabama this season. They've lost to Texas A&M, they barely beat a struggling LSU team, and they had to go to 4 overtimes to beat Auburn. So to me, I think that all Georgia needs is a few decent offensive possessions, and they've got this one wrapped up. I will take the Dogs! Georgia's going to beat Alabama and head to the playoff undefeated. The American Championship is also 4 o'clock on ABC. It's number 21 Houston and number 4 Cincinnati, who is also undefeated. They have the chance to clinch the first berth in the college football playoff for a team from a group of 5 conference, the American. With the game being played in Cincinnati, I will take Cincinnati to win it and make the playoff. How about that? The Bearcats. Then at 8 o'clock, the final 2 games of the day, Pittsburgh and Wake Forest from Charlotte in the ACC Championship game on ABC. It's the first ACC Championship game without Clemson since Florida State won the conference in 2014.
Terrible.
However, this should be a fun game because these are 2 of the nation's top offenses, but the difference maker is going to be Pitt's quarterback Kenny Pickett, who will lead the Panthers to their first ever ACC championship. And then the Big Ten championship is in Indianapolis at 8 o'clock on Fox. It's number 2 Michigan, number 13 Iowa. Michigan got the win of the weekend, possibly the season last week against Ohio State. And now the Wolverines are in their first ever Big Ten championship game. I think Michigan starts out slow, but I think they'll find a way to beat Iowa's vaunted defense. I think Michigan will get a win and clinch their first ever berth of the college football playoff. How about that? So those are this weekend's conference championship games, and some of them are going to be a ton of fun to watch. Georgia, Alabama, I think is going to be a pretty close one. But remember, Xander's picks for this week's college football games are also going to be on Xander's social media channels beginning Friday morning. And if you want my NFL picks this week, those will be out on Xander's social media channels, Twitter, Facebook, Instagram as well, on Thursday.
I didn't ask that.
So that's our football for this week. But now, it is time for the return of Emergency Facts to the podcast. That's right, the gang is back. It's Zander, myself, Amy Awesome, and Goose. We are back in the car to literally talk about anything that's on our minds. It's Emergency Facts. And just like the last time we did Emergency Facts, which was back in the spring, I guess, when it was, we recorded this in the car. We recorded this actually twice because we did one part on Thanksgiving night last week, and then we did another Emergency Facts on Black Friday, the night after. So these are two Emergency Facts wrapped up into one right here. We talked about Thanksgiving, the invasion of the Christmas season on Thanksgiving, basketball, ways, and a bunch of stuff. Like, we talked about a ton of stuff. So, it's Emergency Facts Part 2.
Here it comes.
Here we go. Amy Awesome, Goose, Zander, Emergency Facts, right now, as the Xander's Facts podcast continues.
Xander's Facts.
Here we go.
Here
Here we go. Xander's Facts. It's Emergency Facts. The gang is back. Amy Awesome,
Woo-hoo!
Goose. We're all here. It is Thanksgiving night, and I cannot see.
No, it's not.
Goose has lost his phone.
Oh,
Today
yes.
is Thanksgiving. What a Thanksgiving it was.
Yeah, I got a surprisingly fatter by the night.
Surprisingly fat.
You did?
Yeah, well, turkey. Turkey makes you fat.
Oh, turkey makes you fat. You got fatter?
Yeah,
You know how much fatter you got?
like 50 pounds.
50 pounds.
How about that?
That's doubled in size.
I'm about at 182 now.
182. Goodness.
Whoa! We're gonna go shopping tomorrow.
That was a big jump.
We're gonna have to take advantage of those Black Fridays.
Well,
Friday.
I don't know about shopping tomorrow. That's going to be,
A nightmare.
well, just going to be so many people.
Well, a
Yeah.
nightmare on Walmart Street. Get it?
Nightmare on Walmart Street. I don't know if they're gonna appreciate you making that reference to their organization.
Well, I don't get sued for it. Please do not watch this Walmart.
No Walmart.
Do not watch this Walmart. You heard it from Goose himself.
So, when we were doing our Thanksgiving dinner, we tried to do what we were thankful for, and that stopped pretty quickly after some strange comments by some people.
But,
So,
well, I'm thankful for absolutely nothing.
well, I was just about to ask you what you're thankful for.
Okay, fine. You know what? Let's do it again.
Okay.
Go around. Okay, start off with Zander.
Okay, Xander, what do you think?
Well, I don't know. So
You don't know.
go.
Oh, so-
I'm trying to think. You all go.
All right,
first.
I'll go.
Amy Awesome goes.
I am thankful for hiking weather. I am thankful for...
You call this hiking weather? It's
Yeah,
freezing.
it's nice and cold.
Oh,
the
jeez.
snow coming.
It's
Yes.
terrible.
Christmas decoration on the side there.
On the side. Yeah.
I'm thankful for. I really liked those Brussels sprouts and mashed potatoes tonight. I was pretty thankful.
Yeah, it
about
was
those.
yummy.
Yeah. And I'm also thankful for all the weird people in my life.
Hey!
That's disrespectful. Look,
Murder you in your sleep.
now you just watch
No,
out. Goose
yeah.
might get you.
Okay, fine. I'm thankful for gas.
Gas.
Fuel is necessary.
For poisoning the world.
Okay. Well,
Wow.
that's what Goose is thankful for.
And for tornadoes because they're pretty epic.
Oh,
Tornadoes.
tornadoes or Oreos?
Oreos.
Oreos.
Pretty good.
Oh, okay, gotcha.
I mean,
That's,
I thought
that's
he
a
said
good one.
tornadoes.
No, I said
I thought he
Oreos.
said Oreos.
For wreaking havoc on the earth? That's tornadoes.
they really kept it on the earth for how good they are.
Oh,
That's
fascinating.
well, okay.
No, fine.
What is Zander thankful for? I'm thankful for all of the listeners of the Xander's Facts podcast.
Yay!
Oh, yeah. You should also subscribe.
So you're thankful for me?
Sure. Well, I don't know if you listen, but we'll see.
I listen.
I don't think you listened to last week's.
Not yet. It's not the next week yet. It's okay.
Well,
Wait, what about Al? What is he thankful for? Al Pal.
Alpha?
The
Al's
dog?
thankful for food that he doesn't have to chew.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
the 18-year-old dog, Al Pal. Sure.
He's wrapped in a blanket. He's thankful for blankets.
Yeah. Well, I think when Thanksgiving, because now you got Thanksgiving, now it's holiday season.
True.
Christmas time for all the Christians out there.
Here, here's a song for you.
Uh-oh.
Rudolph the Red-Nosed Reindeer.
No, copyright! No!
Okay, fine.
Actually, I think that's in public domain.
Oh, well, there
Yeah.
you
You know, okay, you know what? Fine. How about this? Grandpa got ran over by a reindeer.
That's probably copyrighted.
No.
I think the older carols are in public domain now.
But here's the thing: the big discussion is because the Halloween transition at all the stores and the music to November 1st. They just you go to Walmart or you listen to the radio. It's Christmas music, Christmas stuff all over the place.
Yeah, they swamped it immediately.
Yeah, which I don't think is correct. They shouldn't be doing that.
Yeah, it just makes you
It's too early.
feel
Yeah, it's
tired
pretty
of Christmas
freaking
before it gets here.
It's pretty freaking dumb, I think.
But now,
Thank you.
But now, Thanksgiving is over.
Yep.
So now we can. Now I think we can go ahead with the Christmas stuff.
Does that mean we have to put up the Christmas tree? Like, is that what you're talking
Yes. Well, I was gonna talk about making cookies and
about?
doing all that stuff.
What's your favorite cookie?
Well, I do like the classic chocolate chip. I'll eat
Yeah.
any cookie.
Do you like the chunk or the
Sugar. Well, I like them both, but I would prefer the chip.
chip? Okay. All right.
But if you made a chunk,
You go there.
I'd be fine with
Okay.
the chunk. Yeah. And when you go to, I've been to Costco. They have chocolate chunk cookies. I mean, those are really good. So maybe those. I don't know.
Yeah.
Maybe I'm lying. Maybe I do like chocolate chunk better.
I like snickerdoodles.
I like snickerdoodles, sugar,
Mm,
oatmeal.
sugar
I'll eat
cookies.
oatmeal raisin. I like all
Wow.
cookies.
Do you
Yeah.
like it with the white raisins or the other raisins?
White raisins?
Yeah, I always put white raisins in my oatmeal cookies.
I don't know.
Because they're nice and squishy.
I've never had
Oh,
those.
okay.
I don't think. M&M's cookies.
Ooh, M&M's.
I mean, come on. Goose, what's your favorite type of cookie?
I would have to say Starburst.
Starburst cookies. Let's see.
What's wrong? I
Um,
don't know why we ask you any food opinions. I mean, it's just ridiculous.
How exactly does that happen? How do you make a Starburst cookie?
You yourself Starburst into a cookie with chocolate chips.
Ew.
With chocolate chips.
So it's not just Starburst, it's Starburst and chocolate?
Oh my
Alright.
gosh, that sounds.
It's like
terrible.
Skittles and M&M's together.
Those are good.
Great.
No, because Skittles are fruity and M&M's are chocolate.
True.
You can't combine those.
Yeah, you
That's a
can.
bad idea.
How
Yeah.
about talk about like hurricanes now?
Hurricanes?
Exciting, yeah.
Alright, what hurricane do you want to talk
Well,
about?
a movie we all watched was The Perfect Storm.
Oh, right. We all did watch
And
that.
that was incredible.
Best movie
I got
ever.
the opposite of incredible. They terrible.
What was your favorite, worst part of Perfect Storm, Case?
I guess when that guy was in his life vest and he just kind of floated away. How did he not survive that? He was in a life.
Oh, yeah.
Well, they were in the perfect storm.
Yeah, but he was going to the clear end, so I'm confused. He could have just like stayed in there until a boat found him. It's so weird. Don't watch the movie.
I don't know. Well, that was an amazing movie. What a powerhouse cast.
Yes.
I mean, it had
what?
Clooney, it had Marky Mark.
My favorite bad character in that
Yeah.
film is the guy who is on the little personal sailboat with the two women, and he just refuses to turn around or do anything. Yeah, that is possibly the person that I just shake my head at and go,
I
really?
mean, that's also incredibly random. Like, we're focusing on this big ship from Massachusetts, and then we find this little boat that's out in the middle of nowhere, and we don't know these characters.
That's not related at all, except for the rescue mission. Like, that's the only way they tie it in.
Which...
And I'm like, what?
They don't even meet each other, those characters.
No, you're right. They absolutely don't.
Well,
So frustrating.
Like, when I saw them, I was like, okay, they're gonna meet up. But no.
No, they don't. Like, all they do is like look out the window watching the rescuers fail. That's what they do.
What a movie.
Right?
I mean...
Yeah, the rescuers nearly die, by the way.
Truth.
The chopper crashes.
Yes.
The chopper?
Spoiler warning, by the way.
Yeah, well, that movie's over 20 years old. So.
Yeah, I'm hopefully
If you haven't seen Perfect Storm by now, come on.
Oh, by the way, did someone just cut the cheese?
I think that was your cheese.
Yeah, that was you.
Ooh.
Did someone just cut the cheese?
Festive.
Uh-oh, SpaghettiOs.
I know.
Oh, by the way, does anyone here like SpaghettiOs? Subscribe if you do.
Subscribe.
If you don't,
Yeah.
if you don't,
If you don't, still subscribe.
no, if you don't rate it 5 stars.
Well, that's a good idea.
That's nice.
And then
But even if you
subscribe.
do, rate it 5
Yeah.
stars. Yeah.
Okay, and then subscribe.
It doesn't matter what your opinion on SpaghettiOs is.
You're still subscribed.
Please. Oh, I got it, because we're talking about Thanksgiving. Thanksgiving's over. It's Christmas time.
Right.
Christmas movies. Favorite Christmas movies.
Christmas Story. That movie's the best.
The play is going on this year, too.
Remember that?
I want to see it.
I know. We're going to go.
That is not my favorite
You
Christmas
take me.
movie.
Yeah. Die Hard.
Is Die Hard a
Of
Christmas
course.
movie?
Well, yeah, it happened on Christmas.
Well,
He's wearing a Santa hat.
Okay.
I have another favorite Christmas movie, Elf.
Elf.
Elf is one of my 2.
Elf is a hoot.
Who
Yes.
doesn't like Elf?
Apparently, Will Ferrell turned down an Elf sequel.
Really?
He didn't want to do it.
I thought there was an Elf 2 already.
There's no Elf 2.
Oh.
He didn't want to do it.
There is an Elf musical on Broadway. Or used to be on Broadway. Now it's
Oh.
in regional theater.
Remember that?
Yeah. Let's see. My favorite Christmas movie. Gremlins? That's a good one.
That's not a Christmas movie. That's a Halloween movie. Really?
No, it's a Christmas movie. Like he gets Gizmo on Christmas.
I have another favorite Christmas movie. I would have to say Krampus.
Krampus. Of course,
Why?
you would say
Yeah.
Krampus.
It's a Christmas movie.
So my 2 are Elf and National Lampoon's Christmas Vacation.
Oh yeah. Have you ever seen the animated movie Prep and Landing? It's
I don't know if
funny.
I've seen all of it. I've seen parts though.
It's very funny.
I like the Polar Express.
I thought that
Polar
one.
Express.
Porsche Chains.
I went on Polar Express trains.
Ish. Yeah. I know there's Arthur Christmas. That was a cartoon.
Oh yeah.
What the?
We used to watch that as kids all the time.
Do you ever watch Arthur the Bleep episode?
No. I have seen Arthur on PBS.
Yeah, that's a bad show.
It's not. That's a good show. I used to watch that all the time. I used to watch that, Curious George, Sesame
Oh,
Street,
Curious George.
Super Y.
I actually used to watch that too.
I watched Mr. Rogers' Neighborhood.
Oh, well, didn't everyone?
Yeah.
What is that?
Oh, it's really good.
Hey, let's go storm the high school.
Well, I like that channel that has the 25 Days of Christmas. They always play movies that are Christmas, leading up to the 25 Days of Christmas. I do not like Hallmark movies.
Okay.
That is just...
They started on like Halloween. I was like, geez.
Well, no, they start in January
What?
until December.
Oh, Hallmark? Yeah. You
Good.
can watch a Christmas movie anytime you want.
Good grief. And they're all the same plot, just different characters, I guess.
No.
Or a different situation.
Really?
But it's all, something happened that's terrible to our family. And at the end, our family's back together. Come on, give me a break.
Pretty formula. That's what
Yeah.
you're saying.
Like when you've seen one, you've seen them all.
I can't believe that from the Hallmark channel.
Oh, I'm sorry.
I mean,
Oh, Lifetime is like that too.
Oh, Lifetime,
is
yes.
basically Hallmark 2.0.
Wait, why are we doing this again?
because we're the cool kids.
We are doing night 2 of Zander's Facts because we needed more content.
Yeah, there's nothing else for me to do at this point.
We need more words.
Yeah.
And this may be that of Zander's Facts.
This will not. Zander's Facts will continue to live on for many years.
Well, let's see. There were bunches of people doing nothing in the shopping center today.
Let's
That was
talk
super
about,
fun.
today is Black Friday because it's night 2 of Zander's Facts Emergency Facts. So
Yes, Black Friday.
Amy was out on Black Friday
I was,
shopping.
yep.
I can detail my experience later, but
Well,
you
we
went
were
to a different
return
place.
shopping. Like, we took stuff to return.
Okay.
We didn't go out for the idea of getting new things.
Yeah.
I don't want you to get trampled.
But yes, we did not get trampled. But also, it was kind of like a normal day on the mall. Had it not been COVID, it probably would have been packed.
Well, you went to an actual mall.
We did. We went to a mall.
I cannot tell you the last time I went into an actual mall. So that probably has something to do with it.
Yeah. Well, we were masked.
I love the mall.
Because malls are dying.
It's true.
In
Yeah.
my hometown, the mall is being torn down.
Well, the onlineness of mall, and one of my
Yes.
hometowns, they've turned it. The hospital bought it,
Yeah.
and then another person I know, her hometown, the casino bought it.
Yes.
Oh God.
So
Gambling, baby.
Yeah.
right, gambling,
Heck
baby.
yeah, man.
What do you think about gambling, Goose?
Oh, I love it. Once
Oh.
I played poker with my family night, and I nearly won. I almost got a roller flush.
Well, sports betting,
Huh.
sports betting is now legal in Virginia.
Truth.
We're coming up on the 1-year anniversary of that occurring. So
So were you playing with cash or were you playing with penny? What were you playing with?
Oh, we were playing with Monopoly money.
Monopoly money.
Monopoly.
And then we actually played Monopoly to see who would start off with the most money, so
Oh, all right.
Monopoly is a good game I haven't played in a long time.
it's
True.
fun.
It is fun.
We should play Monopoly.
We should.
Let's play in the car and see who wins.
Well, maybe not that. But I think we should put up lights at our house.
No.
I think we should.
Like, you mean you put up lights?
Well,
I don't,
if you
I
all
don't
are
get
going to
why
be
people
losers.
Why do people decorate for Christmas? It's so dumb.
It's very festive. I love looking at the
Yeah.
lights. I just, I don't know about, like, dealing with the lights.
Yeah, it's so dumb to decorate, right?
Well, that's a very
think it's-
strong opinion for
I
you.
don't think it's dumb.
Okay, fine. You know what? I actually really like decorating. My mom's doing it, so.
Is she? Okay, that's good.
Who doesn't like decorating?
Well, apparently you.
You don't. You
I
just
do.
said you
I
did.
was lying.
Oh, okay.
I lie all the time.
What color lights do you like?
I guess I would have to say orange is my favorite color.
Orange.
Lights.
Like Halloween lights.
What?
I kind of like the white lights or the blue lights.
Yeah.
Let's talk about Christmas of how hard it's going to be to get presents.
Ah, supply chain.
Well, yes, there is a supply chain shortage, which all my Xander's Facts listeners know was caused by the president.
That's not a fact. I don't know why, but how will you explain to us, Zander, how it's happening?
Yes.
Well, actually, you can go back and listen to 2 episodes ago of this podcast where I did explain that.
Well, how about we do it again?
No, we're not going to do that. don't
Yeah,
know.
it's going to be tough to get all the cool presents in time if you don't order them early. Like, order them now.
Yeah.
Order
Like,
everything now.
Black Friday stuff.
By the time you're watching this, it's too late.
Well, it's coming out next week, so I think it'll be okay.
Like, which one are we putting out
Also,
next
if you're
week?
watching this, yeah, it might be too late because it might be a couple years down the road where we can make audio visual.
Yes. We could do little cartoons.
Yeah.
What do you want for Christmas, Goose?
A PS5.
PS5.
Let's talk about that because the PlayStation 5 is the hot new thing. That and the Xbox Series X. But no one can get them. They've been out for a year and no one can get them.
Well, how do we know they're still hot then if nobody really has one?
Because when they get into stock, they sell out immediately. Everyone wants one.
Well,
What?
is
Why
it just
were
a
we not
fad?
Black Friday today?
Or are they really that cool?
Well, I mean, when the new consoles come out, like this, when the PlayStation 4 and the Xbox One came out, the 360, like, I mean, those all were popular.
Right.
But there's actually
Cool.
something called game streaming. So, like, you know how we used to have cable boxes, but now we have streaming over the internet, on the TV. Now they have great game streaming.
Oh.
So, you don't have to download a game, like, or buy a disc. Well, they've had that for a while. Like, there's a PlayStation that doesn't even have a disc holder anymore.
What is it?
It's like, and it's $100 less than
Oh.
the regular PlayStation 5.
Does it function the same way?
Yeah, it's the same thing.
Why aren't people buying that one?
Well, I guess they need discs. I don't know.
Well, that's the one I guess that's the one I'll take then because it only costs $400.
But like if you have a PlayStation or an Xbox, usually you need to download the game.
Ah.
But there's this new thing called Google Stadia, which is owned by Google,
Right.
which does game streaming. You don't even have to download the game; it's over the cloud.
Ooh, the cloud.
Yeah. So that's becoming a new thing. So like this PlayStation 5 and Xbox, like these might be the last consoles you need to get.
Well, you would think people would want to have something like instantaneous like the cloud.
Yes, but it can, like, it's starting out, so like there's not a lot of people on it, and it can buffer, and
Okay.
you know, it's got those early stage issues.
It's kind of still in beta.
Yeah, but it's getting there. So
Okay.
that, like, within the next 5 to 10 years, that'll be the dominant thing. Like, they probably stop selling PlayStations and Xboxes, and they'll just have a PlayStation streaming service or something.
Well, it would give more people more access. Most
Yeah.
likely.
I'm just saying. Zander's Facts. I could do a whole podcast on that. I think I should.
It sounds like you should.
Yeah.
No.
That's interesting to me.
I'm doing the games eventually.
Oh, you're
Goose's Games. Yes, indeed.
Yeah, no spoilers.
You've played 2K Arcade on the phone.
You got my favorite team on there.
The Hornets. Why is your favorite team the Charlotte Hornets? We're in
Hornets.
Virginia. My team is the Wizards because they're Washington, and I like the DC teams.
The Wizards suck.
Oh,
They don't. The Wizards are ahead of the Hornets in the standings right now. Goose, thank you very much.
do you like the Charlotte Hornets because you think they're the murder Hornets?
Yeah, is it the nickname? Like Wizards, you don't care about Hornets?
Or cool?
Hornets are cool. That's why. I also like them because they're a good team.
Oh.
Well, they're okay, but they're not. The Wizards are better right now.
I thought your favorite team was Miami Heat.
I like the Heat too. I like the Heat and the Wizards. The Heat are good too.
Way better than the
What is the
Wizards.
mascot of the Heat?
Oh, it's Bernie.
Bernie the
And-
Burn?
Well, it's not, you know, feel the burn, Bernie.
Mhm.
It's
Bernie.
it's like an orange fire stick.
So it's
He's like
not...
he's like an emblem.
Ah, I see.
I guess. Yeah.
Because I was trying to think
I don't think the Wizards have a mascot, even though they are the Wizards.
They don't have a wizard?
No, I don't. I've never seen it.
Well, the
Well,
Hornets have a hornet.
Yeah, I think so.
Wait, why don't they just find a giant Japanese hornet and then just let them release it in the crowd?
Well, I don't know if they need a Japanese hornet. Come take a look at our murder hornet.
Come get stung by for $15.
So you're gonna pay them for you to get stung, so you could possibly die?
Yep.
For the
Oh,
hornet.
you know what? No, they pay you $1,000 if you.
Man, they would make money.
No, they
They would. People would do that.
No, they pay you $1,000 if you do it.
Oh.
1,000.
Oh, well, then I'm.
You've upped the ante.
And then they charge you $1 to do it.
What?
For 1,000.
So you pay $1. If you survive, you get 1,000.
Yeah.
Wow.
Or when you want to just raise to 1 million. Who would do that?
If you survive.
You get $1 million.
Okay.
Can you
Well,
survive a murder hornet?
If you don't
sting?
survive, your family gets it.
I mean, they all are called murder.
They're
hornets.
called murder hornets.
So, have luck surviving.
Yeah, I don't know about that one.
They
Yeah.
just totally make that a thing.
Sounds a little iffy to me.
So the reason you like the Hornets is because they're the Hornets. That sounds cool.
No, that's not it. I also really like them. They're such a good team.
Yeah.
LeBron James.
You know, LeBron is. The Lakers aren't doing so well this season, and that's LeBron's team. He said Anthony Davis come to Los Angeles. He said Russell Westbrook come to Los Angeles. Those are two really good players. They're not doing so well.
Wait, which one's better, Los Angeles or the Hornets?
Oh gosh. Well, the Lakers have a better team.
Do you know when I read about sports teams winning?
Yeah. What?
That the sports teams who actually high-fived each other had a better, win rate? I don't know.
Well-
than teams who didn't communicate that way.
Well, that's chemistry.
Well, it's
No, that's
also
called teamwork.
fact.
No,
Yeah.
the only reason they do that is because they develop friendships.
Yeah.
Yes.
That's what
Connection.
Teamwork makes the dream work, baby!
I can have
Wow.
LeBron, Anthony Davis, and Westbrook on a team. But if they don't like each other,
That's a problem.
that's not going to be, Like, they
Yeah.
could sabotage the team.
But it's something as small as a high five, right?
Yeah, yeah.
Not just, encouragement, but actual high fives between the team. You can predict how much the team will win over another team.
I wouldn't doubt it, yeah.
Pretty cool.
Well, Goose, would you be a fan of another team if you thought their mascot was cooler than Hornets,
Nope.
Nope.
Pelicans,
Oh my god, what the...
Really? There's a team with the Pelicans?
Rockets,
Oh, I like the Rockets.
Mavericks, Timberwolves,
Oh, the Timberwolves.
Bucks?
No, Buccaneers.
No, the Milwaukee
Okay.
Bucks.
The Wolves mascot is my second favorite.
The which one?
The Timberwolves?
Yeah.
Timberwolves? Oh, yeah.
Are they better than the Hornets?
No. Timberwolves are bad. The 76ers,
Oh,
1776. They're Philly. The Wizards. The Celtics.
Oh,
yes.
my-
The
my-
Knicks.
my
The
third-
Nets.
My third favorite is Miami Heat.
The
Yes. The Thunder. The Magic. The Clippers.
What is the Magic's
The
mascot?
Leaders.
I don't know.
The
Isn't
Leader
that kind
Rockers.
of like a wizard?
It's their logo is a ball because they're in Orlando, so Disney World and all that.
Sure.
So it's a ball, and it's got blue magic dust.
Like
On the
Epcot
back.
with magic dust.
Yeah. The Hawks
That makes sense.
in Atlanta. The Warriors, the Suns, the Clippers.
So the Suns is the sun.
Yeah.
Do they have a big giant sun as a mascot?
It's a ball, and it's like on fire. No, that's the Heat. It's a ball in the sun. Or maybe, no, it's a sun. It's a sun. It's just the sun. I don't know what I'm talking about.
It's just a sun that
Yeah.
walks around the stadium. Okay.
The Trailblazers,
The Trailblazers.
Portland.
Yeah, about to say it was Oregon, right?
The defunct Supersonics,
Oh, right.
Seattle. They might come back. The NBA might do some expansion.
Well, I can't believe that Seattle has been this long without it.
Yeah, Seattle really supports their teams.
They do. Big time.
The Seahawks, the
Ooh,
Sounders.
The Sounders?
The
Oh my
Sounders
gosh.
are an MLS team, and they love the Sounders.
Oh man, there's so much merch about the Sounders. You can walk down the street in Seattle and you would see a Sounders jersey or
Yes.
scarf or something.
They just got a hockey team, the Kraken.
Right. The
And
hockey team.
Their uniforms look really cool. The
I knew they were coming.
Kraken. They've got a baseball team.
Release the Kraken. Yes, the Mariners.
Yeah. They just don't have a basketball team.
I don't know. I'd kind of like to have a Timberwolf.
They're
That'd be kind of
not.
fun.
Well,
I bet
I wouldn't
Squish
have
would like
a
it.
pet. What are you talking about? What are you
I mean,
saying?
they're wolves. They're just dogs.
Yeah, crazy dog that'll rip your head off.
They're not crazy dogs. I'm sure if Squish had a wolf to raise, she'd be fine.
You're talking about a dog raising a wolf.
Yeah.
I don't even know where this is going.
Little Squish raising a little wolf. Oh my gosh. She'd be so happy.
Well, if you get a baby wolf and you raise it to be tame, I guess that could work.
Ooh, the police. You're
Oh,
fine.
the
You're not
husky.
speeding.
Yeah. I'm going like five under.
You're going up the hill. Like, I can't believe that guy's sitting there going up the
Yeah,
hill.
come on, man.
Doesn't make any sense.
He needs to be on the other side.
Yeah, we're not going to say what state police we're talking about, but we're talking about state police.
They know what state
Yeah,
we're in.
it's
We've
okay.
talked about it already on this podcast.
We're not judging you. Maybe you're just bored out there and just want to sit and read your phone.
I was driving Thanksgiving morning, and there were a ton of people out, and there were a ton of police out too. Like it was like, seriously, get off the road, people. Where are you going?
You should already be there.
You should already be there. This was 9-10 a.m. in the morning. Like it was
Yeah.
ridiculous. It was it felt like a normal work day. Good grief. Yeah, and he was back there too. Like it would have taken him like a little bit to get back on the road.
It would have.
Yeah.
I mean, I hope he has some change on those tires.
Yeah,
because
he was
kind of sitting in a ditch.
Yeah.
Maybe he was in a ditch. Maybe we left him on the side of the road stranded.
Oh my gosh. I didn't see any skid marks.
No, and he was kind of faced out intentionally.
Yeah.
Wait, what are you guys talking about?
The police.
The cruiser we saw sitting on the side of the road.
I didn't even see him.
Yeah.
He pointed him out to me.
And you saw it.
Yeah.
We saw 3. That's the third law enforcement officer we saw since leaving the burg.
Really? Because I've only seen that one.
Oh no, there was 3.
What?
Yeah.
Just now?
Holy cow.
Yeah, sorry. Well, you weren't speeding, so I didn't think it mattered.
Yeah. Well, I didn't even see him. Like, usually when I see him, I point him out.
Yeah.
I didn't see him. Should have had Waze on. Oh, man. Waze. What a lifesaver. First off, they point out where the police are. Second off, you can record your own voice. And back when I had a higher voice, I could do my Elmo voice. And that sounds amazing.
You can't do it
Waze.
anymore?
Try it now.
No.
Try it.
Turn right. Do it. No.
Oh my goodness,
Oops.
your voice has
Can
changed.
you turn, please?
That's not bad. That's pretty good.
Nah, it's okay.
I know, they don't have anything that sounds like, all right now,
Oh,
let's
they need
turn
one.
right.
They need one. That's 50% of this country. Hey, y'all. Let's get a move on. Turn right
All
here.
right, you need to turn where the old church used to be. It's coming up right here. See?
You
Yeah,
better-
I mean, we could do that. We could
You
do that.
imagine your destination.
Hey, you see Brad Johnson's house up there? Turn left.
You know what happened to his mama, don't you? Yeah, see? We could do that. You know?
We should do that. There we go. Zander's facts. Emergency facts. Night 2 is all done.
Night 2!
Bye, y'all.
Bye, y'all.
Oh, yo. Godzilla gets cold cocked. Zander's facts?
Thanks once again to Amy, Awesome, and Goose for Emergency Facts Part 2 on the podcast. How about that? But that's all we've got for this week's edition of the Zander's Facts podcast. Thank you all for listening, and remember, if you liked all the facts, if you liked all the football facts, if you liked the emergency facts, then remember to click that follow button on the podcast, download this episode, rate the podcast, review the podcast, go on your Twitter, your Facebook, your Instagram, search Zander's Facts, follow, like, heart, whatever. It's Zander with a Z, and most importantly, tell all your friends about the podcast. Zander's Facts! Tell all your friends. Spread the facts. That is a wrap on episode 43 of the Zander's Facts podcast. Thank you all for listening, and we'll see y'all with episode 44 next week.
Are you stupid?